record. Right, guys, welcome. So it's the final coaching call ahead of you last week. And this week we're going to go through some recapping, some reviewing, because you don't always need to know new things. You sometimes need to be told the right things again and again till it sinks in. So we're going to review, we're going to look at the ways forward, what you should do after the experiment, and something else I'm launching for members anyway, which should flow seamlessly for you guys if you want to do something else straight after this. So timing wise, it's come along pretty nicely. So yeah, review, bullet point recaps, and the path from here. So let's dive into it. Nutrition first, one of the foundational pillars. So protein and calories, as I've said from the start, as I've said again and again, they're the two biggies. There's lots of other things that are important, but if you're looking to get leaner, lose weight in the form of body fat, you're looking to retain muscle tissue, the right amount of protein and the right amount of calories every day are what you should be focusing on. They're kind of the big two numbers when it comes to nutrition. Yes, there's lots of other factors, like we've mentioned fiber, we've mentioned magnesium levels, lots of other things, but these are the big two, okay? And that's as you sort of migrate after the last week and move forwards on your journey, it's always think about those two things every day. What's my protein intake been? What have my calories been? And if they're not right, most of the time you won't get the right outcome. If they are right, 80, 90% of the time you will get the right outcomes. So just massive recap. Protein and calories are your big two when it comes to nutrition. Always focus on them. And where should they come from? Ideally, nutrient-dense foods. So nutrient-dense foods, if you're ever unsure what they are, they're normally not packaged. They tend to be on a fish counter, they tend to be at a butcher's, cuts of meat, and they tend to be in the fruit and the vegetable section of a supermarket. So as I've said to a lot of people, if you shop around the outside of a supermarket, you're usually doing the right things. It's the aisles in the middle that aren't usually the best for you. So if you remember that, your fruit and your veg and your meats and your fishes are normally around the edge of a supermarket. That's where 80% of your food, hopefully, is coming from. Because when you have vegetables, as we've discussed, you're getting your fiber, you're getting micronutrients, you're getting minerals, which are essential to health. Fruits, as we know, contain lots of your micronutrients and also anti-aging properties and things like that. So I would always be making sure 80% of your diet is your fruits, your vegetables, nuts, seeds, meats, fishes. Okay? Bullet point. Hydration. The bare minimum, going back to the basics, the bare minimum is 2 litres of water a day. If you're somebody I've put 100 kilo to keep it to a round figure, but normally if you're getting towards 100 kilo body weight, you'll need more than 2 litres of water per day. Obviously as well, if you sweat a lot, if you're having saunas, if you're training once or twice a day, your water intake needs to reflect that. If you're desk-based, you might not need 3 litres plus. If you're training hard, you're sweating, you're having saunas, your water intake needs to reflect that. If you are dehydrated, as we've covered, it affects your mental performance, clarity. It also stimulates and triggers hunger. So if you are dehydrated, your brain sometimes doesn't know the difference between am I hungry or am I dehydrated? So if you are feeling hungry, the old trick of having a large glass, a pint of water, and then see after that, do you still feel hungry? It's a simple trick, but it usually works because you're separating then what is hunger, what is dehydration. So always drink the water first, see if you're still hungry before you start snacking and eating. Physical
Is there such a
performance. Go on, mate.
sorry, is there such a thing as drinking too much water, Miles? Or
There is if you don't add electrolytes to some of your water, yeah. Because if you start drinking 4, 5, 6 litres of water a day, which some people do, And I know a lot of bodybuilders say have 4+ liters a day. At 2 liters of water a day, you're going to be absolutely no problem. But if you're wanting to really hydrate at higher levels than that, I always say you can either add some of the like electrolyte tablets to one of, not to all your water because you don't need that much electrolytes, but like I went to sauna today. In my 2 liter bottle of water, I just cracked in Science in Sports electrolyte mix in there. So if I'm going to be sweating a lot, I always want to replace the salts, which is your sodium, magnesium, calcium, and potassium, because you do lose them. If you take in so much water and you start going beyond 3 liters a day, you can dilute the salts too much. Now, that matters a lot when you're talking people who are trying to manipulate water levels for photo shoots and things like that. But if you're sticking in the 2 liters to 3 liters range, it's not really a concern. The only thing I would do for most people is your first pint of water on a morning. I always have a little bit of sea salt in my first pint. Reason is we lose a lot of fluid when we sleep just by breathing. So hydrating first thing on a morning, a little bit of Celtic sea salt, Himalayan sea salt, tiny bit in your pint of water when you wake up. That is a good thing to do, and I do that personally, and I recommend it to people I coach. It's because that is the time when you really need to hydrate when you first wake up. So any sort of sea salt or anything like that, a little pinch of it in your water first thing, I would do that. Dead simple. When we touched on it, and again, a reminder because it affects your circadian rhythm and it affects your sleep, but it is also beneficial. So caffeine, we know, can help ward off certain long-term degenerative diseases, and it can help performance physically and mentally. But the key with caffeine is around your sleep-wake cycles. So keep it to a morning or lunch just after lunch. Don't be having caffeine at 4, 5, 6 p.m. at night because we know it's got a 9-hour half-life. So you don't want it affecting you going to sleep. You want to sleep as well as possible, and caffeine will work against that. Okay. So yeah, caffeine, the devil is in the timing and the dosage. Too many cans of Monster and you'll be an anxious mess. But I would never say don't have caffeine unless you're super, super sensitive to it. All right. Sleep, obviously, one of the other fundamentals of what we've gone through over 6 weeks, been trying to teach you and drill in the basics and the foundations. Again, you should be looking long term, 7 to 9 hours per night in a completely dark room. So whatever you can do to block out LED lighting, street lights, whatever you can do in terms of blackout blinds, blackout curtains, not having phone LED lights in the bedroom, they all can affect the quality and the deepness of your sleep. So a long-term habit to get into is cool room, no lighting whatsoever, 7 to 9 hours. And ideally, if you can and your work permits it, try and go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time. All right? Basics of sleep. Stick to that, you won't go far wrong. And as I mentioned before, it's the best fat burning performance enhancer, and it's free. Learning to do it well is a skill, it's an art, because some people don't prioritize good sleep, and therefore it affects your daytime clarity of thought, physical performance, and also your ability to burn fat and build muscle. If you don't sleep well, as we know, that the hormone ghrelin goes up, which is a hunger hormone. It makes you hungry. So if you don't sleep enough or well enough, you will be more hungry. You will consume more calories. Every study on sleep has confirmed this. If you don't sleep well, you will consume more calories. If you sleep deprive a group of people, given access to hyperpalatable foods, they will have them and consume more calories because the hormone ghrelin has increased. and they can't feel full. All right. Also, as well, the hormones testosterone and growth hormone are affected by lack of sleep and poor sleep. And male or female, you still want optimal testosterone and growth hormone if you want to burn body fat and get stronger and recover. So again, sleep is a fundamental pillar. Do everything you can to sleep as well as possible. The right pillows, the right room temperature, everything that helps you sleep well, put the work in, invest in it. Mindset. We've covered this. I'd like to think in. Are you there? I thought, is that the voices in my head? Right. So, yeah, mindset. We've covered the following: controlling your state. And there's many ways you can do that by your exercise, your posture, your diet, your sleep, everything else. Your state is how you show up in the world. We covered your posture and how that affects your energy levels and how you show up in a mirror. Because if you've got slumped shoulders, head down, you look like somebody who isn't going to win the day, win the week, win the month, win the year, and get what you want. So posture, like we said, eye contact, chest out, shoulders back, stand tall at all times. Gives you confidence, gives you energy. Affirmations, we talked about that as well, about stating what you are, the I am statements on a morning, on a night, when you wake up before you go to bed. Start saying what you're going to be, what you're going to do in the day, how your day is going to go. You say it enough until you believe it. Because you're starting to get congruence in. I say something enough, I actually believe it. So posture, affirmations are important. Gratitude, we covered that. What you appreciate appreciates. You get more of what you focus on. And if you are thankful and grateful for the good things in your life, you'll start looking for more of it and you'll start seeing more of it show up in your life. Because if you only focus on what's gone wrong that day, you're training your brain to look at everything that's wrong, everything that's bad, and what's going to go wrong tomorrow. So if you start morning and night being grateful for what's gone on in your life, you start appreciating things more and you start looking for better things. And you look for small wins and you appreciate them rather than looking for somebody who's cut you up at a roundabout, somebody who said something to you, and something that's not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. All right. We talk then about asking better questions because largely your life will be shaped by the questions you ask yourself mainly, not others, but yourself. What could I do better right now? What decisions could I make to help me overcome this? What could I have done differently today? How could I have got to the gym if I've missed a session? How could I have got up earlier? Is that getting to bed earlier the night before? If you ask a better question, your brain will start looking for better answers and you start finding solutions to your own problems. So you need to focus on asking better quality questions. Because like we said, if you ask, why does this always happen to me? Guess what? You'll find reasons to make it happen again and again and again. So learn to ask better questions every day of your life and you'll find better answers, better solutions, and better things will show up every day. And also as well, focus on what you want, not what you don't want. You know, I don't want to be afraid. What you should be saying is, I want to be fearless and I want to be confident. State everything in the positive. What you do want, not what you don't want. Because if you don't think of a black cat, you have to think of a black cat. And it's true, that's how the brain works. So it doesn't differentiate between what you don't want and what you do want. So you've got to focus on what you do want and you start looking for solutions, networks, people, answers, and your unconscious mind will start picking things out in your life and in situations and scenarios to help you achieve what you want. Because your brain wants to be congruent with what you're saying you want and what you are asking questions about and what you're saying you want in your life, your brain will look for ways to make it happen. Like finding yourself on this course right now. Yeah, you look for solutions, you find yourself in the right room with people who want to achieve what you want to achieve. Okay? And remember this one as well. As you've all found when I read through your trackers every week and I read through your check-ins, the problem-free life doesn't exist. Stop thinking it will, because its problems are going to come your way. But the questions you ask, your posture, your state, your energy, your focus will affect how you deal with it. And like I said weeks ago, in any given situation, you've got to make the best choice you can in the moment. But your resourcefulness will be affected by your posture, your mindset, your gratitude, your sleep, your hydration, and your nutrition. Because if all that isn't on point, you're not going to make great decisions and you will go into victim mode. And again, take responsibility for everything. So your diet is not by accident. No one's mugged you and given you a donut and made you eat it. You make conscious choices on everything. What you choose to eat when you go shopping, what you choose to put in your trolley is all on you. How you cook, how you meal prep is all on you. If you get to the gym or not, it's on you. If you sleep in and miss your gym session or your class, it's on you. So just be responsible. Take responsibility. Be accountable to yourself long term. Yeah, it's all on you. And you've heard me say this before, if you can attack it in this way, where you think about life happens for me, not to me. And if you attack your days with that mindset, you will look at, okay, what is this? What is this coming in my life to teach me? Why has it happened? Because it's meant to happen and it's going to teach me something. As long as you look for the answers and the solutions and the positive from the situation. People often say things like, oh, I was stuck in a traffic jam. And they realised that if they weren't stuck in that traffic jam, something far more severe would have happened if they weren't in the traffic jam. So sometimes, even though you can't see it in the moment, there's a bigger picture and life's got a plan for you. And just sometimes see, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have gone home early. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. Maybe I shouldn't have gone there at that time. Maybe I was meant to miss something. Yeah. Sliding doors moments. I always think life happens for me, not to me. Keeping score. Obviously, a lot of this course has been about keeping score and teaching you to focus on the important things. Now, I hope as you move forwards, you either keep on with a tracker or come up with one that suits you and your onward journey. But whatever it is, keep score of what's important to you. Because I will tell you this now, if you don't measure it, you don't manage it, it will go to shit. You have to focus on the big rocks, the important things, the levers in your life that move your life in a positive direction. You've got to look at them. And even if you narrow it down to 3 or 4 key things moving forwards, make sure you do keep score, because you will know from this 6 weeks what are the things that you will fall down on if you don't keep score. Some of them you might have dialed in and you might be like, yeah, I've got this now. It's part of my life. But some of it you might not. And they're the things that you should absolutely keep score of. If you know calories is a bad thing for you, and if you don't track it, you go off kilter, that should be on your list. It might be protein, it might be sleep, hydration, could be steps, it could be anything. But whatever you find you struggle with the most, keep score on it. Because, the process, the daily processes we follow give us our outcomes. So you always need to make sure that you keep score of what matters to you to get you the outcomes you want. Okay. What next after this? Well, a few things really. So training, this is option one. If you over the 6 week course up until the finishing this week coming, if you've really gone for it and you've trained super hard and you've done at least, your 4 hard strength sessions, you've been getting over 10,000 steps a day, and your body feels like it's starting to tell you and whisper in your ear that you need a little bit of a break. What I normally do to people at the end of a 6 week block or an 8 week block, depending on how we've factored in the training, but this is a 6 week block, I always like to give them a week of active recovery, I like to call it. So things like yoga, Pilates, stretching are all perfect because they keep you active, they keep you moving, they keep you mobile, but they're not taxing the nervous system too much, which is what we want to look at. Because it's not just the muscles, the tendons, and the ligaments to recover, it's actually your central nervous system. So we just want to just bring it down a few notches, but not just lay in bed all week and eat Doritos. That's kind of not the idea. So the other option, which I do recommend, because I think strength training and loading your body should always be part of your life. So like I said, if you've hit it hard for 6 weeks and you've been super consistent and you do need a break, what I recommend is do some lower intensity, high rep weight training. So 20, 25 reps. You can use just machine-based weights, but do something for your push exercises, something for your pull. Leg press, it can be a dumbbell goblet squat, but just rein the intensity back and just go higher reps and just keep the muscles working, but just at a lower intensity. We're not just taking a complete rest. If we have been doing what's called planned overreaching, where we intentionally overtrain and then we back you right off, that's where you'd just be having like saunas, spa days, things like that to recover. But that's when you're training elite athletes who might be training 2-3 times a day. And this 6 week experiment has not been that, so you don't need that level of recovery. But just rein it back a little bit, change some of the exercises, lower the intensity, higher reps, do some yoga, some Pilates, some stretching, and just for 7 days, have a bit of recovery spell. Okay? And bearing in mind, that doesn't mean after tonight you're recovering. You're still on this week, guys. So I'm not giving you permission to slack off this week because I want to see the best pictures possible and results on Sunday. Okay? All right? So we're still going hard this week. We're still full on. Let's see what we can achieve. Last week, last pound or two, last inch off the waist. Let's see how good you can look at the end. And you can say to yourself, Jesus Christ, look what I've achieved there to there. Look at my measurements. Look what my lifts are. Because bearing in mind, this isn't just physical. What can you finish your squat on? What can you finish your deadlift on? What can you finish your presses on compared to where you started? So I'm not just bothered about, I'm bothered about the process as well as the outcomes. So let's look at physically what you can achieve. Let's look at your measurements, look at your final weight versus your starting weight, and look at your before and after pictures. Because what I want to do is put it all together for you. Your training results, your measurements, your photos. Because bearing this in mind as well, some of you over 6 weeks, for example, you might have lost 5-6 pounds, but you might have put on 4 pounds of muscle, but lost a lot more actually in fat, but the scales doesn't tell you that. But your pictures and your measurements will. So bear that in mind. The scales only tell you what gravity tells it, which is how much water, fat, bone, and muscle you are carrying. So in your final weigh-in, it doesn't always tell you how much muscle you put on, how much fat you've truly lost. Okay, so bear that in mind as well. But your measurements and the fact you'll have got stronger and fitter will also reveal that. Okay. So yeah, graduation week. So at the end of it, obviously I'll do you a really nice certificate that you'll get for completing the course. Once you submit, I'm just finishing like a little simple survey, which I'll be sending out next week. So for the final check-in, you don't have to do the normal submission. It's like a final survey, same format, just a couple of different questions where it'll ask you things like, well, what have you learned? What did you come in to achieve? What results have you got? Things like that. And, so the final one will be like an exit survey at the end of the course. And I'm going to look at your questions and what you put in there alongside your results, alongside photos. I'm going to put everything together, and then obviously I'll decide who's getting £100 hard cash put in the hand, because I'm going to be looking at it. Once everything's submitted next Sunday, Monday, I'll be reviewing everyone while I'm on holiday and looking at your final results. I'll look at your exit surveys. I'll look at your measurements. You can send them all private to me if you want via message, or you can put them in the group. If you want to keep yourself accountable to everyone else, you can submit them in the group, or you can submit them privately to me. It's totally up to you. I'm not forcing you to do one or the other. It's your free choice, all right? Like I just said, feedback form will be going out, guys, to you all. Please, it helps me with vital feedback as well for changes and adaptations to the course moving forwards. Hopefully you put some positive stuff in there. So it'll help me, because with a Super 6 course that I do free for you guys, for all the members, I've had a lot of members think, well, there must be a catch. It can't be free. You can't get 6 weeks coaching for free. That doesn't happen. Most gyms are charging 200 quid for it and things like that. But you guys helping me helps people know that, well, actually, when we do the next course in February, there isn't a catch. I just genuinely want to help you all get the best results you possibly can. And it's all part of your membership. That's the reason I do it. So we'll go through the next thing as well in a bit. So yeah, before and after pics, results, exit survey, and then I'm going to decide who gets 100 quid cash. The winner will be based on the feedback survey you submit, pics, and overall results. Yeah, measurements, everything. It's not going to be based on just one thing. It'll be based on all things. Okay. I'll be on a beach deciding the winner, and I'll probably do it live while I'm on holiday. So I'll put something in the group saying I'm going live at a certain time and I'm going to announce the winner. So I'll do it as a bit of a community thing in the group. All right, while I'm away. Moving on, some of you might need it, most of you might not. Anyone needing any sort of high performance, high accountability, one-to-one coaching, you can drop me a message privately if you need any help now or in the future. You know where I am. So if you're struggling or you want any sort of, real deep coaching, you know where I am. Drop me a message. I'll go on to the next course because I've been finishing it today while I've been doing these slides as well. So just for me, a thank you before I see everything next week, taking a chance, opening your mind, starting the journey, becoming better mentally, physically, your habits, everything. And I want you to all remember that improvement never stops. It doesn't stop next Sunday. As you carry on your journey, I want you to make sure that you look for those marginal gains, the 1% improvements. Always try and be better. How can I tweak my diet? How can I tweak my mindset? How can I get my sleep better? Look at the 1% wins all the time. How can I be better? Because that's going to lead you down the path of compound change, mindset-wise, physically, emotionally, and that'll spill over into your job, your relationships, your family, everything. All right. So we've got a 6-week course, which is totally different and something I've never done before. So I've called it Liftmas, with Christmas coming up. So what I've done is it's split into 2 3-week sprints. So what's going to happen is at the start of December, we're going to do a quick 3-week blast. We're going to schedule in Christmas as like a little mini break. So you enjoy your Christmas and everything in between. And then after Christmas, we do the second 3-week sprint. So the sessions are going to be designed to be quite short, high intensity sessions. But the idea is at this point of the year when people start almost packing up for Christmas, I want to help you just stay on track. So it's going to go out to all the members. I'm writing up the program as like I started on it today. And the idea is going to be all the workouts are going to be sort of 30, 40-minute workouts. So you can do them even though Christmas is coming up. So it's going to be a Facebook group. There's not going to be loads of check-ins. I'm going to keep it super simple for everybody that wants to do it. So there's going to be a Facebook group. Everybody goes in there. I'm going to do an onboarding video explaining how to do the first 3 weeks. I'm going to explain the program, keep it really simple, explain nutrition. Some of you will know most of it anyway from this course, but I'm going to explain to everybody what to do in the 3 weeks up to Christmas. I'll then do at the end of the 3 weeks some videos what to do over Christmas to enjoy your Christmas, but not completely and utterly eat like you're going to the electric chair. So there'll be some things about how to win Christmas, eating food you like without going overboard. And then there will be like another in the group onboarding, right, guys, here's your next 3-week sprint. So it's going to be like a pre and post Christmas, helping everybody to maintain some momentum. Because I do know that lots of gym people go, oh, everything just went to shit. I got to November and I just started eating everything, drinking everything, and I stopped training. And I hate to see people coming back second week of January and they go, I've put a stone on. You know, this is about just, it's not about necessarily losing weight over Christmas. It's about trying to just mitigate Christmas and balance it out. Train hard going into Christmas, have a week off, but a few simple things you can do over Christmas so you actually a bit of damage control, and then a 3-week sprint after Christmas. And in February, we've got Super 6 starting again. For anybody wanting to do it, they can jump on and we can coach you the whole way through. So that's it for your final call tonight, guys. I hope that made sense. I'll put stuff in the group this week from my jollies. So like I said, I will be posting the link for the exit survey this week when I get it finished, because I've been trying to do it today alongside everything else. So that's going to go in there. That's what you need to submit Sunday or Monday. No rush. But like I said, before and after pics, any measurements, before and after weights, you can submit them in the group or privately to me, your choice. And once I've got everything in, I'll then spend a bit of time looking at everybody's check-ins throughout the course. I'll look at your results. I'll look at your measurements, your before and afters, and I'll compile who I think is the winner. So from me, it's a thank you, and I hope the 6 weeks has been really useful to you all. Any questions?
Thank you, Miles. I'll fire off the question first,
Okay.
and then I'll move on to Billy, because I think he's got a question as well. So the question number one was, what type of oil do you use when you're cooking, Miles?
Yeah, so oils, high quality olive oil is fine. So most of the time for cooking, it should be olive oil, most of the time. But there is nothing wrong with good quality coconut oil. You see, there's different, coconut oil is different in composition to olive oil. They both have different amounts of certain fatty acids in them. So I've always mentioned about omega-3s, which is like your high quality fish oil, but you shouldn't cook with those because you can't heat them. So omega-3s you need for inflammation, brain health, hormones, but you also need saturated fats, things like butter, ghee, coconut oil. So we do need saturated fats, even though the pharmaceutical industry demonizes them. You do need some saturated fats in your diet. Again, but saturated fats should be quality ghee, quality butter, and quality coconut oil. It's not what you get at McDonald's. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about saturated fats. So yeah, so olive oil for most things, but there's nothing wrong with using butter and ghee in certain dishes. if they require them. Nothing wrong with it.
Absolutely. And one last thing I wanted to say to you, Miles, that thank you very much for producing such an amazing quality course. Was just optional. I am more than happy to do a video because I've realized that it could benefit everybody in our gym. We've got thousands of members. And I think one of the things that I've asked a lot of members is that why would you not join a Super 6 group is because they were all like, there might be a catch. We might be getting signed up to something at the end of it. I'd love to do the video. I'd love to do the creative side as well and explaining as well what the benefits are.
Well, if
And
any,
then,
Bilal,
yeah,
if well, obviously I've done the course for you guys. If you would all be so kind as to do me a little, can be 20 seconds, 15 seconds, what you thought of the course, what you got from it, and just, for those who think, oh God, yeah, I'm going to be signed into some recurring thing and I'm going to be trapped in a 12-month mentorship and all that sort of. I think a lot of people think that's the case, but if you just sell it and say, listen, you'll just learn all this stuff and it's completely free, there's no catch. That'd be
absolutely.
nice.
I think I would love to do that because I think it's going to help someone else as well, like it helped myself. And I'd love to do that.
Cheers, mate.
Definitely.
Appreciate it. Anyone else? Any questions? Don't worry if there
No
isn't.
questions from myself, Miles. It's just like a thank you because, like you said earlier, a lot of places are charge for this kind of thing on top of a gym membership, and you're talking £200-300 quite easy.
Yeah.
So to be able to offer this, end of the day, you've got a life outside of your job and stuff as well. You're eating into your personal life to come on this to us. It's been great. I learned a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, something I sort of a few years ago thought is I wanted to give back. Because yes, I do I still coach people, not a lot anymore, but I still work with a handful of people. But I wanted to offer something that, you know, I think if you put good out into the universe, good comes back your way. And I think if you help people with almost no ulterior motive that, or well, I'm gonna, because I go on lots of coaching courses and sometimes it's just a con and you like feel pressured into some like 12-month mentorship at the end of it and it's like high pressure sales and you just, oh no, it's awful. And I just think, well, if I can help my members get better results and understand the game more, well, that ripple effect will help more people because they'll teach their kids, the partners might learn from it, and it's just putting something out because I don't like as well in this world, there's a lot of misinformation. And I like people to understand sound scientific principles that work because I hate seeing people go into the gym or dieting and they're like rowing a boat in all different directions and getting nowhere. And if people are going to put effort in, I want them to get a result from that effort. So you might as well do things that actually work rather than things that don't work. And some of the stuff I see online and I see on Instagram and I see on YouTube, I'm like, all right, I like people to understand what are the proven fundamentals, not the latest hack, the latest trick. What has been proven, and I've worked with people over 25 years that I know works time and rinse and repeat, like gravity, like death, like taxes. They are what they are, and you can't hide from them. Yes, you can sprinkle dust on top once you've got the fundamentals right, but most people are looking for a supplement when they haven't got the hydration right, the sleep right, the diet right, and the training right. And they're asking me, oh, should I take this testosterone boosting tablet? And I'm like, well, your training's crap, your diet's crap, your sleep's crap, your hydrate, everything's crap, and you're looking for the stardust on top. So if you build, like I've talked about the pyramid and I talked about the strong foundations, if you get those right, and you learn about lifting weights, you learn about cardio, you learn about interval training, learn about sleep, learn about hydration, learn about nutrition, you get your mindset and everything else right, and you put that together, you've got quite a phenomenal tidal wave of momentum moving forwards in your life, rather than looking for this month's trick, this month's. I mean, the latest one is obviously the fat loss injections. And having looked into it, guys, I mean, that's a tsunami waiting to happen. The side effects are only just starting to come out, and there's some quite scary stuff coming out around these Ozempic and all these injections. And instead of people just learning about diet and sleep and training and just doing the basics, people just want the quick fix. And sadly, as most of you guys know, because you're quite intelligent, quick fixes usually come at a cost.
Well, that's the thing with that. I mean, what do they say? You can lose 15% of your body weight or something within a year, something like that.
But
And just by working hard and eating well, I've lost 33% of my body weight in a year. It's like if you put the effort in, you'll do it.
But the thing as well is Billy, what the learning is with Ozempic and all the semaglutide and all the rest of them, most of the weight you lose is actually muscle.
Yeah.
So what they're saying to people is, and as you guys have learned, building strength and building muscle helps build a healthy metabolism, which helps you actually eat more calories and not have to crash diet all the time. But with these diet drugs, you're not just losing the fat, you're losing the muscle as well. So yeah, you're seeing, oh my God, I've lost a stone, but you might have lost 7 pounds of fat, 7 pounds of muscle. So then the minute you start going to normal calories, you start piling fat back on because you're damaging your metabolism. And obviously, I mean, pharmaceutical companies, as we've learned over the past 5 years, all they care about is profit. So your health is not top of their agenda at all. It is just shareholder profits. So if they can sell you something that shows you've lost weight quickly, they know they've got a winner. But I might suggest it's probably healthier to chop off one arm, if I'm being honest, because at least you'll keep the rest of your muscle. If you want fast weight loss, that might be healthier. So it's when you start tampering with things like that, it's any drug that comes to market that is new, that's almost untested, usually there's a long-term cost to it. And I've looked at a lot of some of the scientists and sports scientists and doctors I follow. They're already now saying there's alarming research. So what's going to happen long term, let's see. But I wouldn't be putting any of my family or my daughter or anyone on it. I'll put it that way. Right, guys, are you all good? So you know what you're doing this week. Keep on hard on the accelerator this week. Let's finish as strong as we can. And I want to see how you finished. Exit surveys. And then, like I said, I'll get you guys, because on the gym Facebook and on the gym Instagram, and I'll be emailing members anyway, there's going to be a link going out to the Lithmus course to keep you going. So that'll be going out in the next 7-10 days. So, check your emails, check Facebook, Instagram, there'll be links for it. So, let's see on that, because that is slightly different. It's just hard-hitting sessions, short and sharp, up to Christmas, and then, like I said, a 3-week sprint after Christmas. Right, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you.
I think Nadine was going to say something. Sorry.
Oh,
no, I just say I was just talking to myself, really. Actually, I forgot to take me off mute. I said good stuff.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing the end result, guys. So get after it. Let's have a great week, and I look forward to the end results. All right.
Yep.
Enjoy your holiday, Miles.
Oh, I will. I'm not going to say I'm going to share posts from the beach at all in the group. I won't.
It'll be all Thai food. We know what you're like. All Thai food that you'll be sharing.
See you guys.
Well, thank you. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye.